A government delegation is visiting survivors of the Monday tragic bus crash in Limpopo. 21 people were killed when a bus and a cash and transit vehicle collided. Many were injured as well. Let's speak now to Tumaole, who is tracking this story for us. Tumaole, good morning to you. The hospital that the Deputy Minister of Transport alongside the provincial transport authorities there, they've been talking to victims. Is that the only hospital where the victims of this bus crash are receiving care at this time? And how are they coping with the injuries that they are having to treat there?
Well, Koli, this is certainly not the only hospital that is dealing with injuries in terms of those who are involved in that bus crash, that very, very horrific bus crash. In terms of the other facility, it is the ELM hospital, not far from here. So it's two facilities that are essentially dealing with those that have been injured. But to give us an update in terms of what the status is here, we are now joined by Dr. Shonisane Ralidziva, who is the acting CEO at the Louis Trichardt Hospital. Dr. Ralidziva, what is the status of those who are injured and how many have been brought here, and what are you doing in terms of assisting them?
Okay, good morning to you and the viewers as well. We received around 42 patients or casualties on that day, on Monday. Out of those 42, we admitted 8 patients, of which one we sent to the provincial hospital because that patient was seriously injured. However, we managed to discharge 30. Those are the ones that sustained those minor injuries. So we managed to return them back home. But however, we admitted 8, and then one patient unfortunately didn't make it here in the hospitals. But we did all our best, to save everyone that was involved on that particular day.
Wonderful. Thank you, Doctor. And in terms of, you admitted 8, 1 passed away. The status of the 7, how long are they going to be receiving this care? And is there any plans perhaps to do even post once they are released, post-care there in that particular instance where they can come and get some support, whether it's physio or any other care that you can give?
Yes, the care is ongoing and it shall remain ongoing even on those ones that were discharged. Remember, some they still need rehabilitation in terms of the physio and OT. But however, out of those 8 that we admitted, yesterday we managed to discharge 1. The one that we were observing throughout that previous night. So that patient we discharged. So we are left with 7. Out of those 7, we are discussing with the specialists from other institutions so that some they need major operations. But however, they are all well, they are stable at the moment. You saw where they're in the ward, everyone is smiling, they appreciate that at least their life was spared. And the kind of care that they're receiving here, we're doing all our best that we can.
Before we let you go, Dr. Ralidziva, one last question. What kind of injuries are we seeing mostly? Is it injuries to, fractures or to the bones, or is it injuries like that can be cast as internal bleeding, which means tissue kind of injuries? Which are the most prominent kind of injuries?
Oh, remember, if you can just check the pictures, if you have seen the pictures of that bus, it fell actually over the cliff. So, hence, most of the injuries that they sustain is just the broken limbs, is the upper limbs and the lower limbs. So those are the ones that we are saying, they need orthopedic interventions. So it's the upper limbs and the lower limbs, the fractures that they actually sustained.
No, thank you very much for that. That was the latest update today, Koli, from Dr. Ralidziva Shonisane, Dr. Shonisane Ralidziva, and giving us an update about the latest in terms of the injuries, saying that most of the injuries would be fractures and injuries that are, damage to tissue and to the bone structure, because, of course, as we saw yesterday at the scene, the plunge that the bus took and, bursting through the barriers, it must have been quite a heavy impact. And unfortunately, some people did lose their lives. But good news is that some here have been discharged already, according to what the doctor has said. And it certainly shows that they are well on their way to recovery, despite, of course, those that lost their lives being the tragedy. We've got the delegation here, which includes provincial and, of course, government, with the Deputy Minister being as part of the delegation here, saying that she had left, of course, Parliament to come and address and attend to this particular tragic incident that has befallen the province of Limpopo. Colleagues, back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much to Mohlaoli, live for us in Louis Trichardt there.